seems to be a repeat theme. A lot of the signs have been getting that. You know, I think we've been trying to figure out, maybe it's Venus retrograde. That's shown us a lot. Now, the main thing for you to focus on this week is this, the Ace of Cups. It's the underlying energy. Aces are the potentials for new beginnings. I always say that, but they are doorways that come up, that show up, and we must walk through them. How do we do that with the Ace of Cups? The Ace of Cups asks you to look at what is in your cup. Now, I think for some of you, I don't even feel like this is something that you have right now. I think this is something that you crave, you desire, you want this. Now, why are you not going for it? Some of you don't know what represents a new cycle of happiness for you. Some of you have an idea, but you're not sure how to kind of kickstart it or get started. But I mean, it's very promising when the Ace of Cups comes up as the underlying energy. Beautiful energy, right? Beautiful. It's something that you love. I mean, it's emotional growth, spiritual growth, healing energy, second chances in love, you know, where we get, it's a brand new cycle that begins either within an existing situation or, you know, a new situation. But I kind of get the sense with that coming up, there's almost like, can we just start from scratch? Can we just do this again? I just want to feel good. I just want to feel good. Is that too much to ask for? That's what's coming up here. Now, I say that looking at everything else. Looking at everything else. Because look at what's at the heart of the reading, and that's the focus. We have the Two of Swords here. This is not easy energy, no matter what anyone says. The Two of Swords, yeah, it's about making a decision or a choice, a difficult decision or choice that we probably don't want to make. But where we are right now, why? Why does this decision need to be made? Well, think about the two swords represent two truths, right? She's trying to make two truths work. Now, that might be internally. There's a conflict, inner conflict with, there's something that you want and you're kind of arguing with yourself. So that's what it could represent, that. Arguments with other people, quarrels, you know, trying to make your truth work against someone else's truth. And we all have our own individual truths, right? But what you're trying to do here is, for as long as possible, hold on to it and say, well, okay, I'll just keep the balance. I'm just going to try to keep the balance. It's fine. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to look at anything right now. And, you know, there's always a body of water behind there. That's emotions. So you're trying to be logical about this. You're trying to figure out a solution, logical solution to this. But there isn't one, guys. Sorry to say that. At the end of the day, you cannot hold those two swords there forever. You can't. One of them has to get put down at least, and you're left with that sort of truth. Then that is your truth. It's difficult. And, you know, her arms are crossed in front of her chest because she doesn't want to get hurt. But I want to remind you of this, Libra. When you block out the bad, you know, when you block out the difficult or, you know, anything that's going to rock the boat and all of this kind of stuff, you actually block out all the good as well. So how is this Ace of Cups going to get to you? Which hand is she going to use to grab that? How will she even see it? She's blindfolded. So I get it. You know, a lot of you, and I'm not judging because I'm getting the sense of this is almost like someone who's at their wits end, you know, they're at the end of their rope and they're like, Jay, don't even say this shit to me because you don't know. I'm hanging on by a thread right now. I get it. I understand that you are. Look at this. We have closed off energy. This is blocking energy coming in everywhere here. But you're blocking out the good as well as the bad. Nothing will change, Libra. Nothing will change, my lovelies. I'm sorry to say that to you, but how you're going right now, nothing is going to change. If you're hoping that, you know, something kind of sweeps in or something shifts, something changes, it won't, because you've got everything on such tight lockdown. And I get that it's a survival mechanism. You know, this is I'm hoping that this doesn't resonate with anyone, this message, because it's difficult. If this is your situation, this is a rock in a hard place. You're stuck right now. Almost wanting that, you want that new emotion, that new love, that new happiness to come in. And it's there for you. It's there. It's available this week to find a new path, something that makes you happy. But how are you going to see it if you're kind of holding on to this? Now, in the past, we have the King of Pentacles coming up. So either you were dealing with someone like this, Earth energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, doesn't have to be. Remember, the signs don't own the cards, they learn their characteristics. This is someone who's traditional. This is someone who's committed, successful, very hardworking. He does, you know, He's very concerned with his finances and his practical, like physical stability, security. So, his money, his house, that kind of stuff. Now, he doesn't do that to be mean. I mean, that's the very dark side of the King of Pentacles. But it's because he sees that as providing for the people that he loves for. If he has money in the bank, then he can take care of the people that he loves. So, how does this play out? If this is a relationship reading for you, you might have been in a relationship with someone that was like this. It could have been from 10 years ago. It's left you with a hangover. This is last week, last month, last year, whenever. But it kind of feels like, if you're in a relationship or you were in a relationship with someone like this, they were very, very, very kind of more focused maybe on their work and stuff. And you could kind of see the logic for it. It's like you saying, we need to spend more time together. He's kind of saying to you, well, we can spend more time together, but we're not going to have money to do anything. I need to go to work. And you're like, well, you don't need to work that many hours. So it's that kind of back and forth. Do you see what I mean? It could be that situation coming in here. If this is not romantic, not relationship, and remember, it doesn't have to be just someone that we're in a romantic relationships with. A lot of us want to spend time with our friends and stuff as well. This could be your energy. That you've worked really hard at something. You've kind of, you've put in your all. You've been focused on your money and your finances and stuff. It's not making you happy anymore. There's that then, right? Because then have a look. The Two of Swords is in the middle. It's almost like picking between practical security and emotional fulfillment. Of course, we've got two swords there. Which one do you pick? So, remember, it's a general reading. The energies are going to play out in different ways for each of you. For some of you, it's both. It's about your romantic life or your relationships, whatever the nature of them might be, and work, trying to find the balance, because that is that balance, right? But the point of the reading, no matter what the specifics of the situation are, is right now that, a difficult decision needs to be made. It's not being made. And I know why. The Four of Pentacles tells me that. Here, we have the Four of Pentacles here. Now, I just want to say this. These two don't go. He will never do this. That's not him. The Four of Pentacles is the miser card. He's not a miser. He's very generous with his money. That's why he has earned so much of it. So he can take care of people. So he has more money there available. So I want to say this. Very specific message again, but this could be someone who had a lot to give and now they have nothing. They've lost their money or, lost their job or their financial security or whatever. If this is nothing to do with work, money, finances, then what we're looking at here is this is someone who they're just not opening up. This is someone who kind of holds on to what they have because that's all they have. Now, either that's you, and it could be you, whoever this energy is, this feels like the same energy. I don't want to make a decision because I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to let go of this, though, because it's all the security that I have. I always feel like this is that bar of soap. Do you know what I mean? The kind of tighter you kind of try to hold on to it, the more it kind of slips out of your hands. That's the feeling of this. But the thing is, let's think about it. If I gave you 4 gold coins and that's all you had, then you would hold on to them, right? You're not going to leave them lying around. You take care of what you have because that's all you have left. So this is very much about that. It's very much about holding on to what you see of value. But you're holding on to it so tight, Libra. And that's because this person doesn't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to lose what little they have, right? Which makes sense. And yeah, he can hold on to what he has. He won't lose it. He won't lose it. You can come back tomorrow, the day after, whatever. He'll still be sat there holding on. But he's not going to... Sorry about this. I thought I had put this on silence. I've got another video rendering. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so, with the 4 of Pentacles coming up here, it's so much about just holding on, afraid. I don't want to lose what I have. There's fear, a lot of fear here. Fear of getting hurt, fear of being vulnerable. But the bottom line is if he wants more, he has to go and invest those pentacles. He has to go and spend those pentacles. And it's a risk. It is a risk. But here, nothing new can come in. What you have to work with, whatever the nature of this reading for you, whatever you have right now, that's all you will have, Libra. Please. And I'm not trying to say that to be cruel. I'm saying that to let you know that this is trying to come in, this Ace of Cups. This is what you truly want anyway. It's your underlying energy. You kind of want it, but you have no hands free to grab it. You have no space for it to come in because you're kind of blocked. Everything's on lockdown right now. So how does it get in? How does it get in? So like I said, the thing with this is it's a risk. It's always a risk. There's never any guarantees. Even when you have a guarantee, there's no guarantee, right? But then where do we go from here? What's the solution to this? Well, we have the Six of Swords coming up. Now, this might be travel. This could be movement. This could be actually moving home. Sometimes I see that with the Six of Swords. But it's the journey card. It's the moving on card. I don't know what's got you afraid, Libra. Something's got you frightened. That's what it feels like. But that's just it, right? If we had the Eight of Swords, if we had the Nine of Swords, if we had these cards of fear or loss or whatever, I could say to you that, well, look, this is what we have to work with. But it's not even that. I think a lot of you are not even looking at what's frightening you or this. It's just shut down tight. Shut down tight. That's what it feels like. And it's survival mode. This is survival mode. That's why I'm saying there's no judgment. No one does this. No one goes on lockdown for fun because they think it's going to be a fun thing to do. It's fear. It's vulnerability. That's what gets us trapped in these kinds of things. That's what gets us stuck. Because then, this is that whole, well, a bird in the hand is, worth two in the bush. I'll just hold on to what I have, right? But you want more, Libra, and you deserve more. You deserve more. It's kind of interesting to me with the King of Pentacles here, because this is the foundation, and the King of Pentacles is amazing energy, amazing energy. So I don't know if you felt abundant in the past, whatever the nature of that might be. Or, your partner or your business partner, doesn't have to be romantic, whatever the nature. This is this beautiful energy, the King of Pentacles, but it's that focus on finances and money, that kind of thing. That's what's coming up here. Security, stability, Pentacles are all about that. You don't feel safe and secure right now. So you're kind of really holding on to something. So with the Six of Swords, it is about moving on somewhere. Now, some of you, it might be moving jobs. It might be traveling somewhere else. But at the very least, there is movement here, right? No more lockdown. That's the solution. No more lockdown. And you can't go back. That's the other thing. It's about finding a new path, Libra. Find a new path. Because here, have a look. We always see their back. So we know they're moving away from wherever we are. So they're moving away from us. They take, the Six Swords are always in the boat. And one of the reasons I think I don't use the Rider-Waite more is because I think I get into more kind of tarot teaching mode a lot more. But I love the original depictions in the traditional Rider-Waite. This is the universal weight. But have a look. So they have the Six Swords in the boat. Now, we could argue and say, hey, why have they got Six Swords there? It's not like they can see clearly where they're going. But the Six Swords represent the lessons that have been learned from all the hardships they've been through. The card before the Six of Swords is the Five of Swords. That's conflict. Whatever you've been through, whatever led to this kind of lockdown, I need to be safe, I feel vulnerable energy, you've learned lessons from this. And so you take them with you. And who knows? Those swords are in the boat. What if we pulled them out? It's a wooden boat. Maybe there's holes in the bottom of the boat. The water would get in, right? So whatever you've been through, it's given you lessons, given you a new way of thinking, new beliefs, new ideas, whatever it is. And you take them with you on this journey. And I always see, we don't really see where they're going. We have little kind of glimpses of land ahead. So maybe you don't even know where you're going. All you know is that you can't keep doing what you're doing. And that seems to be a running theme. A lot of people are coming to that realization. Now, what is your advice here? And that's what this card always indicates. What can you do to kind of achieve this moving on? That's freedom. That's movement. There is no movement here. Even the King of Pentacles, he might be successful, but he's sat on a throne. He's not going anywhere. He has his kingdom. And this is travel. This is movement. If you want progress here, well, then we need to tap into the Magician. And it's very telling because it's the only major arcana card that's come up for you here. And it's almost as if when that happens, when I see the advice as the Magician, it's almost like this is trying to get you to that point to do this. Now have a look at the Magician. The lemniscate above his head, the infinity symbol, that's knowledge. These are his tools, right? Pentacle, cup, sword, wand. He has everything that he needs. And that's what the Magician says. It's the card for Mercury. So this Mercury retrograde will be a big deal for you. No, I know. You just had Venus retrograde. Now this. But it all serves. It doesn't feel like it serves, but trust me, it does. So this is the point of the Magician. If you have the knowledge and you have the tools, do you have the confidence to use what you have? And I would say no. Because this is fear-based. This is you're holding on to something. You're holding on to something, and it's to keep you safe. But this card's saying you don't need that. Now, it's either the knowledge comes from the King of Pentacles or from what you've done, from all the work that you've put into something. But you have the tools to get what you want. You don't have to have faith, Libra, in anyone else, in your path, in your journey. You don't have to have faith in anyone else. You just have to have faith in yourself. You just have to trust yourself. That's what I tell everyone. Because a lot of times we don't want to make decisions because it's like, what if I make the wrong choice? You tap into what your heart wants. What do you want out of this experience? Who would you need to be to get that? What decisions would that person make to go for that dream, to go for what would make them happy? What would they do? They wouldn't sit like that. They wouldn't hold on to what they have. I see a journey is, and like I said, it's emotional or physical. It doesn't have to just be, it doesn't have to be a physical journey, although that does happen sometimes here. But it's the confidence to move on. That's the thing here. This is not serving you, and you know that. But it's a kind of fear of the unknown that's coming in here. Sorry I hopped on. I just wanted to make sure that I really gave that message, because with the Magician as your advice, he's the master manifester. But that's the point. He is the one. He is the one that channels that energy, right? He directs it where it needs to be. He's the alchemist. He turns the base metals into gold. He knows what to do. You know what to do. This card tells you know what to do. It's the confidence. Do you have the confidence to do it? And it's scary. It's frightening. I know it is. That's why confidence is needed. Bloody hell, Libra. Let's get you some oracle cards. And like I said, I hope it's one of those that doesn't resonate with anyone. You know, maybe it's one person out there somewhere that needs to hear this, and I'm sorry for that person. But there's a way out of this. That Magician tells you that. You have everything that you need. There's nothing else that's needed. And it's almost like this. I get the sense that a lot of you feel like you're in this kind of vice, and the vice is tightening and tightening and tightening. And you know what's happening? You're just white knuckling it. You're holding on even tighter. You're holding on even tighter to the status quo, to what is. And what I want to ask you to do, Libra, and it takes faith, right? But release it. Just let go. Just let go. You'll be able to handle this. And think about this. Can it be any harder than what's going on right now? Because this doesn't feel good. You're stuck here, and this is all you want. And your wants are so simple as well. You just want to be happy. You just want to be happy. It's not like you're asking for bloody £1 million or, whatever. You just don't want to feel this way. And it's the Magician's like, well, hang on. You've got everything that you need. You've got it. Let's use it. Let's use what you have to move on, to go and have whatever it is that you want.